saying Jehovah.
What's going on, YouTube? How you doing? How you doing? First and foremost, I want to thank everyone for the love and support. And like I always say, I will always be humble and thankful for that. And before we get started, please hit that subscribe button for your boy. Please hit that subscribe button for your boy. Black Americans, our families taught us about white people. And our families taught us how to act when we around our own people too. So this video is mainly about what our parents taught us, or our grandparents, or our guardians, or whatever family member, or even teacher taught us about white people. Let me just throw a few things of what our black folks taught us about other black folks, you know what I'm saying, as kids, you know. So one of the things that I think we can all agree with, that each one of our family members, including our mothers and fathers, gave us this talk about how to act in public. There's one thing that they'll give us a speech about before we go anywhere, before we leave the house, before we even put on our good clothes. They give us this speech about, if you run around this mall, if you run around this grocery store, if you ask for anything, I'm going to get in your ass. That was the talk. So now me, and I'm pretty sure some of y'all, I was still one of them rambunctious children that disobeyed my parents sometimes, and I still tested them out in public, and it never ended well for me when we got in private. Okay, so let me just say that. Another thing that our parents talked to us about and warned us before we go over our friend house was, don't ask to spend the night. You're not spending the night over there, and when I come over there to pick you up, do not ask in front of their parents if you can spend the night, trying to guilt me so the parent can be on your side and ask me if you can spend the night. Don't do that, because if you do that, that's your ass. That's another thing mom and dad taught me. And I used to do that all the time. I used to go to my partner AJ house and shit. And I used to ask my mom and dad before I go, like, can I spend the night over? Like, no, don't you ask me that again. So as soon as I go over there and I see AJ mama and dad, I say, hey, Miss Such Such, can you ask my mama, can you call my mama and ask if I can spend the night? Then they'll call, then they'll eventually, my mama and daddy be like, okay, that's fine, we'll get them in the morning. As soon as my mama and daddy pick me up, it be quiet. I get in that car, they be looking at me crazy. What I told you about doing that, boy. So that's one of the things. And the last but not least, leave your stuff at home. Meaning, don't bring your toys to school. Don't bring your toys outside. Don't bring your basketball nowhere. You gotta leave that stuff at the house. Don't bring your games out. And one of the reasons why our parents used to do that, because it was certain kids, we gotta admit, it was certain Negro kids we used to play with, wasn't used to having anything, and they'll tear up your stuff. So I'm pretty sure we got stories of that too. Some of your video games got misplaced or broken. Your toys got broken. Your bike chain went clickety clacking and messing up, or a tire might go flat. Just a multitude of things that your parents used to warn you about bringing your stuff to people's house or bringing it outside and stuff like this. So those are the things that our parents taught us. But the main thing that our parents taught us was how to deal with white people. They taught us about white people. And this is the difference between black Americans and any other melanated immigrant group that come over here. Because you have a lot of melanated immigrant groups that come over here and think that white mommy and white daddy, white child is their friend. Let me say that once again. There's a lot of them that think that. Okay? So let's talk about it. One of the things that my family instilled in me is, number one, do not keep your eye off white people. Never really understood it as a kid. Why would they say that? Why I always gotta keep my eye on them? One of the things that they used to tell me was how sneaky they are. As soon as you turn your back, they'll throw something at you and look the other way like they didn't do it. Another thing they told me about was, you gotta keep your eye on them, especially at the workplace. You gotta be careful how you do your job when you come in for work, what you share at work, what you do at work, because they always watching you. They always want to tell something that you do. Another thing they used to tell me, don't be hanging out with them after work, going to the bar. You know how y'all like to kick it, like, hey, what y'all doing after work? We finna go to Applebee's, have a few drinks, and have some appetizer, whatever. They got the what you call it, the $5 drink specials, whatever. Don't do that. Because then they'll turn on you because they'll see how you really is outside the workplace. Don't trust them. And what brings me to this is, and I know our children are going to do what they do, right? I know our children are going to make friends with people, meet people, get close to people of all different races. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not telling anyone what to do with their kids. But we got to continue to teach our children how these white folks are not your friend. You can't trust them. You can trust them with an arm's length, but you can't trust them with your life so much. I'm not saying all white people are like this, but you got to be skeptical when you're around. Growing up, start with childhood. Growing up, my mom and daddy would never let me spend the night over a white person's house. Ever. I think I told this story before, but I had a white friend named Stanley. I'm going to make it quick. Excuse me. I had a white friend named Stanley back in the day, back in Jackson, right? Me and Stanley went to school together, went to Boy Scouts together. We went everywhere together, went to the movies, all that stuff together, right? But when it was time to spend the night, my mom and them, they just wouldn't allow me to spend the night over there. And I used to be mad as hell, like, why I can't spend over Stanley? That's my friend. They explained it to me, like, no, you just can't trust anything. We can't. What they told me was, from what I remember, was you can't just be. White people are not to be trusted in so many words. That's what they saying. White people can't be trusted. You don't know how his mother and father is. They might touch on you. They might abuse you. They might feed you something that make you sick. You just don't know. And we don't know. And they nasty. Stanley house was nasty. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Stanley had roaches I never seen before in my life. These was a different type of roaches right here. I ain't never seen. So Stanley was nasty. They had a dog. They had a lot of ticks. So it was a reason why my mom did. I remember I came home with a tick on my back. And that just sent my mom off the roof, said you can't go over there no more. So, but I didn't spend the night. I just go over there, see if he can come outside, hang out with him, whatever like that. Fast forward, I say around high school, maybe college, I ran into Stanley. Stanley was a totally different person, y'all. Like, he was one of those Confederate white boys now. And I could just tell with his body language towards me when I saw him at the mall, he had like he didn't want to speak to me. He knew who I was. Cause when I spoke, I said, Stan, you Stan, like, yeah, you Brian, like, yeah, what's going on? How you been doing? Dude, we just going back and forth. But even then, at a young age, I could tell by his demeanor that he ain't that kid as he is now. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't abrasive. It's just a lot of things, and I just peeped certain ways that how he'll respond to me. I said, oh, he one of these white folks. And keep in mind, I'm like, 17, 18, so I got experience with racist white folks, and I picked up a lot of his mannerisms and stuff like that, so that just let me know, like, damn, my mama was right. Turned out, thinking back on it, his mother and father was like bigoted, real bigoted. I ain't gonna say they was super, well, they racist. Racists are racist, but I remember they allowed me to hang around a little bit, but they won't allow the other black kids to hang around. When I used to just think about like how their aggressions was towards the other black kids compared to me and my other cousin Dave, it was different. Just looking back on, I said, oh yeah, them folks did not like black folks at all. And my mom and dad and them peeped it, right? So with this Nolan situation, I don't think his parents taught their son about white people, about you can be friends with them, but don't be the only black person around them either. You get what I'm saying? Like, even when I go out, me and my old lady, we might go out to dinner, go out to a bar or something, or go out somewhere, listen to live bands, live music. Sometimes it might be a white band or something we didn't know. We just walk in on a Thursday thinking it's regular night, and they got a band up in there. Hell, we already there, we hungry, so, we gonna sit down. But even with situations like that, I look around to see if there's any other black people there, right? Sometimes it don't, sometimes it do. But if it ain't no other black people there, I make sure that I don't interact with them. I don't try not to. I still be in the midst of them a little bit, but I make sure once I'm done, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to make sure I protect myself. But anywhere I go, out here in Dallas, Texas, or outside the DFW area, I make sure I don't go places where there's a lot of white folk. Okay, it's the case in point. About 8 years ago, we went to look at some fireworks, watch some fireworks, me and my ex, and we took the kids and stuff like that. And where you can see the fireworks, say, people go to this particular elementary or this particular field, and you'll have a bunch of people just sitting there watching, sitting, in the back of their trucks, sitting on the hood of their cars, just everything like that, right? Man, I ain't gonna never forget. Man, we pulled up in that mud. This is outside of Dallas. This is like in the suburbs of Dallas. I remember, man, we pulled up, man, and the parking lot was full. This particular elementary school was full. I'm talking about full. Man, wasn't nothing but white folks there. I'm talking about nothing but white folks there. I ain't never seen that many white people like that. I don't think I ever been somewhere and I was just the only black person there. But anyway, we pull in the school parking lot or whatever, and we found a parking spot, we bag in. It was my daughter, my son, her daughter, her, and me. So it was five. I had to count it out. It was five of us. And we get out the car. And it seemed like when we pulled up, it was just a lot of moving people walking around. You could tell people fraternizing and talking with each other. But for some strange reason, as soon as we get out the car, it seemed like everything was at a standstill. Everything was quiet. I ain't saying people was looking at us. I ain't going to go that far. But I can tell something was off. So we sat there because I think the fireworks was going to bust out probably like in an hour, right? Probably I think it was going to bust around about 10 o'clock. And I'm just sitting there. Like, I think I sat there for like 10 minutes. I told my ears, like, listen, we finna go. I ain't finna sit here. I don't feel comfortable. Something ain't right. We can go somewhere else and sit and watch the fireworks from another location because I don't feel safe and I can't protect y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's too many of these motherfuckers. She agreed, packed the kids up. We did. We ended up going to the mall where there was black people, white people, Mexican people, all types of people there, and I felt comfortable. And that's the mindset we got to teach our children, man. Do not go places by yourself with these people. These people don't have the same soul as you, black people. They don't. There's no reason. If I've never been anywhere with a group of friends, it could be 10 of us, black friends, 10 black friends. We go out. We go to a festival. We go to a concert. We go somewhere, right? And let's say 3 of them split up. 3 of them go missing during this time when we having fun. Do you know we're going to sit and wait by the car until they walk back? Or we're going to walk around and try to find them? I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5, 6, 7. We are going to walk around. And as a matter of fact, it been times where I had to call somebody, old lady, they girl, they mama, they daddy, a family member. So I said, hey, did such and such call you? Did he ever reach out to you or anything? Because we looking for him. We up here. We can't find him. We even do that. In the midst of us looking out for our friends. It been times where my cousin Dave, he had this white boy he used to work with at Nissan. His Nissan plant out there in Mississippi. And the white boy I ain't trust the white boy either. He was one of them yo baby, yo type white folks. He know my cousin know I didn't like this shit. But anyway, even when we went out and we'll go to the club or whatever, we made sure nothing didn't happen to that white boy. Not because he white, just because if you with us, you gonna be safe with us. You good. You ain't got nothing to worry about. You gonna be straight. I never heard, and let me know in the comments if y'all heard of a group of black people and one white boy and a group of black people, something happened to the white boy. Like the white boy go missing. I ain't saying the white boy probably ain't got unalive, probably got to fight and got knocked out and passed away. I ain't talking about nothing like that. I'm just saying black kids or black people going out and the white boy just come up missing. They can't find the white boy. That's something that's not natural. In the past 2 weeks, man, I'm seeing so many stores, just stores after stores after stores. A young kid in, I think he from Illinois, rented a truck, drove to Michigan for a festival. I think they found him hanging in a tree. Another video I saw was a black kid in the middle of the water, and his white friends told him to swim, and he couldn't swim. He was scared. He had to get saved. It's too many instances that these people have animalistic mindset to harm you. And we got to teach our children about that. We got to teach our children about the passive aggressiveness of these people, the microaggressions, the little subtle shit they say or little subtle shit they do. We got to make sure our children recognize that. Listen, I taught my son since he came, like, listen, I got custody of my kids. I got 2 different baby mamas, and they always stay with me. Now, my daughter, she started staying with me when she was like 12 or 13, but my son, he been with me since he came out. His mama cootie cat. Like, from day one, he been with me. Since he was old enough to comprehend what I was talking about, I harped on white folks to my son. I talked about white folks to my son, even at 4 years old. So when we moved to certain places where it was mixed community, or it might be a little more white or just mixed or whatever, my son knew not to trust these people. My son never had a white friend in his life. All his friends been Negroes. No Mexicans, no nothing, just straight black kids. Same with my daughter when she first moved to Texas. When she was about 12 or 13 with me, I talked to her about these white folk. She never hung. All her friends are Negroes. The problem that I see with a lot of black parents is this. They move to these suburbs, stand around all these amenities, all this access to nice things. They move away from black society. They forget about black society. They don't connect with black society unless they talk to their mama, their brother, something like that. Or they might visit their mama in a black neighborhood, but they not connected with them. They not. They take the nigga out themselves and take the nigga out their child. Now their child think they equal to these people. Your child is better than these people. But you make it seem like, oh, you equal to them. Now you better than them. And you seeing a lot of videos. Oh, no, let me go back. Let me not finish. Hold on. It was another part I want to say about this too. Even with Carmelo Anthony, right? His parents should have taught him about racism. His parents should have taught him a lot of things, bro. You know, to what to recognize with these people. Carmelo did everything in his with his guy. He had every God-given right to defend himself from those bullies, from those animals that were trying to unalive him, because, you know, Carmelo had a history of seizures. But at the same time, and listen to the father, listen to him, like, nigga, you from Louisiana. And you think the justice system's gonna go in your favor? You really believe that? Cause you stay in a nice area, you think these white folks gonna treat you the same? That's why you were meek and quiet. That Carmelo situation also taught me a lot that when you, like for me, I only speak for when I first moved to Dallas, I didn't know nobody here, right? That was from Dallas. I connected with the people here. I connected with people from Mesquite, Oak Cliff, Pleasant Grove, South Dallas, West Dallas, North Dallas, Duncanville, DeSoto, Lancaster. I connected with all these places and got the feel of Dallas. Who's the who's who in Dallas? Who sell this? Who get down like this? Who the black people that do things for the black community? I learned all this stuff. So I know if something ever happened to me, or if I need something, or if I was on one of these people that like the green, you know, the green thing, you know, I know where to go. Or if I get into a situation with white folks, I know where to go. I had this mindset at 27, 28 years old when I moved here. Because I knew this was an unfamiliar place. I know I'm not in Jackson, Mississippi no more. And I know I had to get a feel of the people. And a lot of people don't do that. You got a lot of people that move from certain areas, move to a exclusive area, like a nice area, and don't even contact or even interact with the Negroes in the city that they in, especially out here in Texas, I noticed. That was the first thing I did. I'm talking the first 5 years, I made sure I knew where all the spots was at. I made sure I knew my way around all the black areas out here, in the black communities out here. A lot of them don't do that. So in closing, y'all, we gotta continue to teach our children, bro, about don't be by yourself with them. I always had at least 2 or 3 black friends with you. I get it. Now all of them like this. I ain't saying every black person's gonna go through this, but it's mighty strange. This happens multiple times a year, not just one time. When a black person is with a white person in an isolated area, where it's an island where they was at, camping, fishing, something by water, or something off in the woods, or hunting somewhere, something always happen to a black person. And you see a lot of these black folks getting online talking about, oh, I got white friends. My white friends would never do this to me. My white friends never tried to unalive me. I've been friends with Bob for so long that we never did it. But I got a question for you. Besides that, when you had to swallow your spit around him, and what I mean by swallow your spit, when you had to swallow your spit when Bob said some racist things, or Bob had some certain type of microaggressions about black people, or Bob had a opinion about black people that wasn't really right. How many times you had to swallow your spit on that? See, they don't never talk about that part. They don't never talk about where they are these white folks, you be around these white folks and they'll say something and you gotta be quiet because you look at them as your equal. You look at them as your friend, as your family. They'll do anything for you. But talk about them racial microaggressions they be having with you, or how they be passive aggressive, or they views on things with black people as a whole. And by them having that, you pick up that same goddamn mindset about your own folk. That's why I would never respect a black American that have the same talking points as these white supremacists. I totally understand there's a lot of nigga shit going on in our community. There's a lot of degenerate things that go on. I'm never trying to hide behind that or run from that or nothing. But how y'all talk, y'all make seem like all black people do that. And that's not true. So, anyway, I'm going to end on that. Y'all give me some good talking points, man. What y'all think, man? What else I missed dealing with white people? Give me some stories. Y'all have any stories or anything in the comments? Name some things that your black family told you about what not to do and what to do and what they'll do to you if you do it, you know. So, but anyway, salute to everybody. I love you. Y'all be safe and teach your children about that. Oh, and another thing, we gotta teach our children about these immigrants also. All right, we gotta look at the immigrants just as well we look at the white supremacists. But anyway, salute to everybody, and I love you.